Welcome to the Untouched Quest. I'm Elizabeth.
And I'm Teir, and we are reading the ElfQuest comics issue by issue. So if you want to follow the story, you can read ElfQuest for free at elfquest.com. And remember to follow us on your favorite podcast platform.
Thank you to everybody who has supported us through Buy Me a Coffee. If you would like to support us as well, you can go buy us a coffee at buymeacoffee.com/TUQ podcast. In this episode, we're going to talk about hidden years number 22 and 23. Ember has an idea on how the tribe should spend their free time. The chieftess is set on learning a new skill. The newcomer has an unexpected weapon. Someone gets a lesson on being themselves. Winnowill's monsters appear anew. Timmain has found a new best friend. Is the newcomer magical? Fresh wolf blood arrives, and there is a last dance for a fallen tribe mate.
When I first started this issue, I was like, oh shit, names, who's this? And then I learned her name because they say it in like a couple of pages. And now I'm like, fuck, who's this?
Nightfall?
Oh, yeah, Nightfall. Yeah. Names.
I'm like, who are you talking about? Is it Nightfall or am I?
No, like the first page when she's like,
yeah, Nightfall.
or whatever she's doing. Her, I don't know.
Yeah, Nightfall.
Is there starting fighting or like play fighting, practicing fighting? I don't know. Yeah,
with their troll swords, which I find pretty interesting that they brought their troll swords all this way.
Yeah, because apparently they are really heavy.
And they're only used for fighting wars with like trolls and stuff like that. You wouldn't use them with maybe with the humans, but not with like hunting animals.
Though,
and
is this the swords that Two-Edge
from the war? Yeah,
the Two-Edge made that they got with
the armor. Yeah.
Okay, so
they've had these swords ever since the war with the trolls,
and they kept these swords, but not the armor, kind of thing.
Yeah, Maybe the armor was in the palace. I don't know,
probably.
But like,
I kind of read it more like this, like troll sword because they're forged by trolls. But then I was like, isn't all
metal and swords is made by trolls?
Yeah, so I was like more like, why do we like emphasize that they are troll swords?
No, it's because they're from the troll war.
Yeah. Okay, got it.
But like, why would you bring the troll swords with you on a travel like this? They didn't bring much. They brought very little.
Because they need something to play with.
They don't really have a carriage animal, like an animal where you can put a lot of luggage on and transport it. They brought everything on their wolves' backs.
Yeah.
And they had to walk some of the distance because the wolves were very exhausted and it was hot and they were hungry, and
we haven't really seen them either, like in the previous issues.
No, I don't really understand where they kept them and why did they bring them on this travel.
Yeah, but then this brings a lot of questions for me for the issue following, like this issue that we are in now.
Yeah,
because this whole issue is about Ember wanting to be like her dad using the sword, but then basically Cutter has used this sword once. It's not like this is his elective weapon for
he knows how to use the sword, but he uses New Moon in every and all fights.
Yeah, but I felt it was more like, okay, daddy uses this sword as an elective weapon for all kind of fights. Yeah. So I want to be like him.
Yeah, but he doesn't. Like, she has her own knife, which is like her version of the New Moon. That's her knife. Yeah. And that is Cutter's weapon of choice. I think it's only that when they went to war, Cutter chose to use a sword, while some others used bow and arrow and some used a spear. His choice in the war was the sword.
Well, he didn't really choose it. It was Two-Edge who chose it. If you look at it, like...
Yeah, but they had a lot of choice in weapons. Like, he could have chosen a different one, but I think that the sword is what he's most comfortable with because it's closest to the knife that he usually uses, like New Moon.
Maybe.
Whilst we've never really seen him fight a lot with bow and arrow or with a spear. Of course he can use it, but it's not his weapon of choice. That's his knife.
Yeah, but it still feels a little like, why does Ember has the need to fight with a sword? They don't have a war in their foreseeable future.
No.
Like, it's Cutter and his gang that is fighting a war right now.
And they're not even using swords.
No.
They're using knives, bow and arrow, spears.
Whatever they're
not using swords either.
No.
And they're right now in the Citadel fighting humans.
And at this point, when she's so eager to learn fighting with the sword, they don't even know about Winnowill's
creature.
No.
But I think it's just that she wants to be so much like Cutter. And
yeah, but then the troll sword isn't Cutter.
No, but a big part of her is being Cutter's daughter.
Yeah.
And for the only weapon that he's really chosen outside of New Moon, it was the sword he used in the troll war.
True.
But Cutter knows how to use bow and arrow. We've seen that before. He also knows how to use a spear. It's just not his weapon of choice.
No,
New Moon is his weapon of choice.
Yeah, and he know that he has a lot of tribe mates who handle those weapons better than him.
Yeah.
So he allows them to be the best at their best, and he can be the best at his best.
Yeah, he's very agile and he's really fast.
Yeah.
And having bow and arrow while jumping around, dodging, are really the best. Not with the spear either. Like New Moon, his knife is the best choice for him in weapon. So I think that she's only so set upon the sword because she knows that's what her dad used in the war.
Yeah, probably.
But she's thought a lot about this. Because when they're at the swimming hole, she talks to the other about maybe we all should learn a second skill. Like if one of us were to die, say Moonshade was going to die, and none of us really know how to make the leathers the way that she does. So they will be out of a big talent. Maybe they should learn from each other. And that's a good thought.
It is. But at some point, though, I'm also they're talking about, oh, what about Scouter? We should learn from him to see better. But I'm like, he's born magical. He's born, it's the reason why he's called Scouter. He's scouting and seeing good.
Who was the one that wanted to learn scouting, though?
I didn't see it.
You can look in my book with the colors.
Is it Skywise?
Yeah. What was Skywise's thing of who should go?
Who should go?
Yeah, who should be the new scout?
I don't know. I don't know what you're hinting to right now.
He says, wait, Ember, what about scouting? Hey, did you want to pair with Scouter? That's not what I meant. You've forgotten. We've yet to do a ride out. We need to do one around this time. And they're talking about doing a ride out. And it's saying but Skyway speaks truth. That's just as important. And then Tilly says, shouldn't Teir help? He knows the area. Skyways' response. But he's not a Wolfrider. He doesn't think as we think. Know what we know. He doesn't have a Wolfrider's ears or nose. We need a Wolfrider to go.
But he doesn't have Wolfrider ears or nose.
No, because he has no wolf blood anymore. Selita's response is, I don't think so, Stargazer.
Because she agrees with us. But that doesn't go with my point that's someone else should learn to scout like Scouter because...
Yeah, but his scouting is enhanced by magic.
Yeah. It's not I want to learn healing. Lita, learn me healing. No, because she's born with those powers. Yeah. I just feel a lot of those things you can't learn. So if some of them die, you're just screwed.
You can learn from Scouter,
you can learn his techniques, but you would never be as good as
what
him.
he does to do his job. All of that. You will never be Scouter. But the Skywise weren't prepared for the thing of not.
No, I think he's kind of living in denial and haven't really thought through what it meant to lose his wolf blood.
Yeah, it's like Lita says that Skywise, you're not what you were. Better for one to go who still has the wolf blood.
Yeah.
And he leaves after this. Because that stung.
Yeah, but just look at his face expression.
Yeah.
He's not mad or anything. It's more
he
like
just
he's
didn't
shocked.
realize.
He's like, oh shit, yeah.
That's true. I'm not really one of you guys anymore.
Yeah, I'm more like Lita. I'm not like all the others.
Yeah, I'm not a true Wolfrider anymore because I don't have any wolf blood. I gave it up.
You did.
Even though Ember is kind of right saying like that was cruel, you didn't have to put it that way. But I think that he needed to hear it. And I don't think that he felt like she was being cruel. She was just being realistic. Like, but you don't have the wolf blood.
And like she answers that gifts don't always come like given to you with both hands. Sometimes there is a price.
Yeah.
And yes, he can live forever now. He got to live to see Cutter again and be with Cutter again. But he is not a Wolfrider, and he didn't really know the price when he like took the gift.
Yeah, he knows that price of taking the gift is he's gonna outlive all of his friends. He's going to outlive all of the Wolfriders because he's immortal. They're not.
Yeah, but one downside was also if he didn't do this, he might not see Cutter again. So like in the moment, he chose his best friend, but he didn't think ahead.
So Ember goes on and talks to Nightfall and is very persistent on learning how to fight with the troll sword.
But Nightfall isn't that eager to teach her because Ember isn't grown yet. Her body isn't like fully strong.
No, she's Nightfall tries to put it very nicely. Like, you're kind of too young. You aren't fully grown. You won't really be able to lift the sword. It's too heavy for you.
Yeah, like...
And it's not saying that you're never going to be able to do it.
No, it's just like your body right now isn't ready. Because you need more muscle mass, which will come with age and training. I love when Nightfall put the sword in Ember's hands and she's just like shaking because it's too heavy. Her body can't handle it.
Yeah, when I looked at that picture, I imagine her being like, their whole body.
Like she was not ready for this.
Yeah, though I think she's just like shaking from exhaustion from like lifting this thing. Mm-hmm. But I imagined her more like violently shaking.
Yeah, it looks like that though, if you see in all those shaky lines.
Yeah, that's what I saw in my mind. She's like violently shaking.
And just the way she's holding it in all these images, she looks so weak.
Yeah, and like Cutter has always been a very muscular guy.
But he's a man. I feel like naturally men are born like stronger, harder build.
Yeah, and they have an like easier way to build muscles.
Yeah,
so he has always been more muscular than she is. So I wouldn't expect her to be able to lift the same sword that Cutter does because he has a lot more mass on him than she does.
Obviously.
Like a lot.
I didn't realize this before now. Like when she's like lifting the sword up, she's like falling back.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know if you've seen this TikTok, but with this guy that is in the laundromat and he's like flipping the bag on his shoulder and it falls back and the flip-flops are just like up in the air.
Oh god.
This reminds me of this. If her boots wasn't like that attached, her boots would have like
flown off.
Yeah.
Yeah, but she can barely lift the sword and she gets exhausted before they've even begun.
Yeah, she's like sweating, trying to just lift the sword from the ground.
Yeah, and they're practicing and she's sore and she can't do it. It's too heavy. It's way too heavy.
Oh, I like this dummy that Redlance built for her.
Yes, it's so cute.
Mm-hmm. And when he built it, I was a little like, couldn't he like made something like that with his magical powers? Like, was it necessary to actually build it?
It depends probably on how fertile the soil is. Like if you can get
because
what kind of thing you can get to grow there. If it's basically grass.
Yeah, they have mentioned though that this soil isn't that fertile.
Yeah, so if even if you can see that there's grass here, it may not be really that fertile that he could grow a lot of things from it. Mm-hmm. So later, Nightfall comes back and she's brought wooden swords instead, so that they can actually practice the fighting part.
Yeah, they can
without having to consider the weight of the sword.
Yeah, but Ember don't have the technique either.
No.
Like
she isn't naturally good at fighting with swords.
Not at all. Like, Nightfall calls it, like, in a battlefield and you've been Ember one arm if you have lived from this battle. It's like, I would have cut your arm right off.
Yeah, this would have been the end of you.
Mm-hmm.
But then suddenly Teir shows up. And he has a troll sword of his own.
Yes, which is even more questionable for me now that I kind of realized that this is just from the troll battle.
Yeah.
Because if it was just like, you know, like I thought in the beginning that it's just a sword made of trolls.
But all swords on metals are made from trolls.
Yeah.
So that doesn't make sense.
No, but that's kind of where my mind, it didn't realize it was from the war. But then it's even more like, why the heck would you have this sword?
Yeah, and that's also the only time where we've actually seen a sword is in the war.
True that.
And he's really good at fighting with his sword.
Yeah, but then, again, if this sword basically only was used in the troll war, why would his father even bother to
give it to him?
Yeah, or even bother to teach him to use
why
it?
Did this someone who is out on this big ass island very far away from the frozen mountain bring this sword?
No clue.
We're back to this again. Why did someone bring this sword with them to fight here?
No clue. No clue.
And it's just one sword.
Yeah.
But someone thought it fitting to bring a sword there. Skywise isn't really happy with this fighting, saying like, oh, that's not bad, but your opponent isn't hitting back. Because he don't like to think that Teir is good at something.
No, absolutely not. One thing, when he was hitting the training dummy, you can see that he's chopping off all these parts of it.
Yeah.
But when you see he's finished with it, it's more like art piece kind of thing. Like, there's
it's not that much
on
cut
the
off. It's just like shattered.
Yeah, it's just messy.
Yeah.
There's nothing on the ground, but he chopped off parts of the training dummy.
Yeah. Maybe it's magical. It grew back.
Mm-hmm.
But they're fighting. You can look at it in many ways. Skywise kind of fights dirty.
He does, but all the other elves says they're well matched. So
yeah, they're well matched, but Skywise is more cunning.
I think that also comes from that Skywise has actually been in a war and actually fought for his life.
Yeah, he's not just fighting from the rules of how to fight. No. He's just fighting.
Yeah, while Teir never been in a war like that at least.
Or a fight, really.
Mm-hmm. But still, though, like, even though Skywise wins because he's kind of playing dirty, it's a good match.
Yeah.
He's a good opponent for him.
Yeah, really good. After a fight, Skywise keeps asking Teir, where'd you get the sword? Where's your father? Where'd you get it? Where's all of this?
Yeah, it's kind of the same questions we're asking. Like, why would he bother to teach you? Like,
why would he bother to bring the sword? Why would he bother to teach you?
What's the point?
Yeah.
You don't need it here.
And
but it's like, why did you bother to bring it, though?
Yeah, you guys brought 2 swords.
Mm-hmm.
They brought 1.
Yep.
Why did you guys bring 2?
Maybe they even brought more than 2 that we haven't even seen.
Maybe. We've just seen 2. Why did you bring 2? But as they're like talking, and Nightfall comes at Skywise like, Skywise! And he tries to explain himself. Suddenly, the animals goes like rabid.
Yeah, I didn't understand that part. That was just random for me.
You didn't?
No.
Because Teir disappeared afterwards.
Oh, so it was more like
he was done with being questioned by Skywise, so he made the animals get angry at each other so that he could sneak away. He doesn't disappear.
No,
he just makes a diversion so that they don't realize that he's leaving.
Yeah.
Because he obviously don't want to tell them everything or much of not anything.
Obviously. Why would he?
Yeah.
And we see that Ember's plan or thoughts about teaching each other their skills is kind of working. Because Teir is eager to learn to make new hides for them.
Mm-hmm.
I think that might might be some of her motherly instincts and just
and I think it is a skill that fits her quite well.
Oh yeah,
because she's so calm and collected, and like this, there's so much just peace and calmness over her person.
Yeah,
just like Moonshade.
But just the joy though of making the clothes for your cub as well.
Yeah, for someone else. It looks like she really enjoys what she's doing.
And Moonshade must trust her since she allows her to do it by herself while she go off to talk with Skywise.
Yeah, and the reason Skywise came to talk to her is because Ember needs to choose a different weapon. One that fits her.
He needs to talk an elder to an elder.
Yeah, and I really enjoy what Moonshade said here. If stubbornness were all she needed, she'd be better than her father.
Oh, yeah. Well, Cutter isn't really that stubborn.
No, but he's naturally very good at things.
Yeah, and Ember is naturally very stubborn.
Yeah.
We've seen that since she was born.
Yeah.
They also talk about Ted, that Moonshade thinks like, oh, he kind of reminds me of older tribe mates like Bearclaw and Long Branch. I don't know who that is, but that's a previous...
A tribe mate of Bearclaw.
Yeah, okay. So it's like, maybe he is part Wolfrider.
I think Teir is as much wolf as we are. Skywise feels that he's very wrong.
No, he's not part of us.
Yeah.
I think that's something like we discussed last time. That is because he's more jealous that he's kind of taking Timmain.
Yeah, Timmain really likes him.
More about that.
Yeah.
Not that he actually don't like him. He's just jealous.
Yeah. Something doesn't feel right, and that something is that everyone else likes him without asking questions. And it's probably part of he feels like he's lost part of his instincts as he don't have the wolf instincts anymore.
Yeah, well, he is eager to learn about him though, because he says that,
or not eager to learn about him. He's cautiously
he wants to know where he's from. Because he says
cautiously suspicious. That's what he is.
Yeah, like he would give half the lodestone to know who his kin really were.
Yeah.
So like I think that's saying a lot, like how much he needs to know since he wants to give up half of his precious belongings.
Yeah.
He never takes the lodestone off, so
no, he doesn't. But Ember is really mad at the sword. She can't get it to work out for her.
No, it's like pucker nuts. I never get this right, and she throws this sword.
Yeah, like, it kind of stomps off.
Like a toddler do.
Yeah. But the good thing is that watching her is just the right person.
Yeah. Do you think that Skywise or Moonshade have actually talked to Redlance?
No, I don't think so. I
he
think
just like went off and did this
I
himself.
think that they all just know that this isn't the correct weapon for her.
And she's obviously upset and like stomping, kicking around like stones. And he's like, bad day?
Yeah, awful. I'm a plain fumblehead, Redlance. I try, and they just won't work.
Have you thought about a spear?
Huh?
I've seen you on hunts, Ember. You're good with a spear.
Father uses a sword. That's a chief's weapon.
And the spear is not?
And he has a very good point there. Because there are, you don't know this yet, there's a lot of past chiefs that have only used spears.
Yeah, and he mentioned a couple of them.
Yeah.
And actually, like, who decided what was a
chief's weapon? Yeah, but they didn't have a sword.
From?
They didn't have swords before the Troll War. They had knives.
And they didn't have that many good knives either, because New Moon was something that Bearclaw got from the trolls. Yeah. And I feel at least that's like one of the best knives that we have seen.
Yeah, it's very special at least.
Yeah, so before that, there was not that many sword or knives that they used. So
yeah, they started trading more with the trolls and getting more medals and stuff like that. But like Redlance says, what about Teir and Skyfire? And I want a bow. What about two spear?
Yeah, he even used two of them. This
is one of the chiefs that is known for using two spears.
Yeah, like two of these poor weapons you were talking about.
Yeah.
And I realized, though, when we started talking about this issue at the beginning of the episode, Ember is talking about all this, like, how a chief has to, like, see a case from different perspective and use the best weapon for the situation and for the person in the situation.
Yeah.
Like, she's really good reflecting on this, and then now she's like, I only want to have a sword.
Yeah.
Which is like, a sword is obviously not your weapon.
No, it's not the weapon that you're made to use. What if you were to say to Strongbow, no, you're gonna use a sword.
Exactly.
He wouldn't be as good.
We haven't even seen him really. I think
he has a knife.
I think he used the sword in the troll fight because
they didn't really have the upper hand to use bow and arrow. But
no,
he also has
use the bow and arrow in the armor, I think.
No,
but yeah, with the knife, that's more like a secondary thing for him.
Yeah.
He is using his bow for everything. You basically you don't see a picture of him without his bow.
No, because that's part of who he is and what makes him so special.
Yeah. And thinking back as well when they were hunting the mice.
Yeah.
She was like, oh, don't make fool of other weapons. Like, look, this slingshot is the best weapon we have right now. Yeah. Don't make fool of it. So don't make a fool of the spear.
No. And later that night, she walked back into her cave and somebody had given her a gift.
Yeah. And I like that she actually got so happy about it.
Yes.
It's not like, oh, she could have been like, oh, I don't want this. I'm still going to keep on fighting for the sword.
Yeah, but she was really, really excited to be gifted with the spear.
A spear. And she's like giggling and going out on the cliff and like howling to the moon or whatever.
Yes, they're sending.
Yeah, she's sending too, but like her reason, she didn't know that he was there.
No.
So her purpose going out there was more like, yes, I got the spear.
Yeah, I finally got the spear.
Tired for actually giving it to her.
And the next day, we see that she's really good with the spear.
Oh, yeah.
Like, really good.
She actually beat Pike.
Yeah, but it's not Pike.
It's Redlance, sorry.
But she's still upset on the fact that it isn't a sword.
Yeah, because Pike said then, like, oh, if you beat a like this good with a sword, you will have beaten Nightfall a long time ago. So it's like that makes her sad.
Yeah. And that's the moment that Nightfall says something very important. Until you're more Ember and less Cutter's daughter, you're going to be tied up in a strangleweed.
You need to like become your own person.
Yes.
We've seen this for so long, like even last episode.
We talked about it last episode when she was talking about herself to Teir.
Tell me about yourself. Yeah, I'm the daughter of Cutter.
And Cutter
did all this shit.
Yes, he's this good, important person.
So what did you do, Ember? Oh, I just follow my father.
Yeah. But I still don't know anything about you. I only know about your dad, and he's not here.
No.
He's not even here.
I wanted to know about you.
Yeah. So later that night, Teir comes to the others with some meat and tells them that there's this herd of animals that they can hunt.
Yeah. And it's like, I can teach you. It's not that hard if you know like how to actually hunt them.
Yeah. But in mid-hunt, a monster shows up.
Yeah, it's a new Winnowill monster.
It kind of looks like the peace hound.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's not a new one. We have seen it before, but it's like
we weren't expecting it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's new for them because they haven't seen this monster. Like, it was a different one in the forest, wasn't it? Like, because that was a bigger, more like
a huge monster.
Gorilla kind of thing. Yeah. This is more like, a peace hound.
But in the middle of the fight, Redlance almost gets killed by the monster.
Yeah, because it goes after him.
Yeah, and his wolf jumps in and bites over the monster's throat.
Yeah, but the monster is really like strong skinned.
Yeah.
So
but
it doesn't really affect him.
In all of the commotion, the wolf gets slung hard to the ground, and it makes Redlance fall over, and he hits his head as well.
Yeah.
And at this moment, I think this is really beautiful. Long ago, a young red mark saved his chief Bearclaw from a marauding Longtooth. In the old chief's granddaughter, their debt is repaid.
Mm-hmm. And it's so nice because actually in that moment was when Redlance earned his new name, Redlance.
Yeah.
Instead of Red Mark.
Yeah.
And now Ember is doing the same for him because if she wouldn't have killed the hound.
And also with the spear, just like Redlance did for Bearclaw.
Yeah. If she wouldn't kill the hound, he would have been finished.
Yeah, he would have. This is really beautiful. It's like full circle moment.
Yeah, but it's like such a sad moment that she doesn't have time to actually realize what she's done.
No, it's a very, very double-edged sword.
Yeah.
Because the wolf is hurt. His back is shattered.
Mm-hmm. And my first thought was, why can't Lita heal him? But then, of course, I realized Redlance is hurt, so she has to focus on him.
Yeah.
She can't do both of them.
No. And they're also very much about the circle of life. Like, the wolf got hurt. We gotta put it out of his misery. We don't want it to be in pain.
No, of course. But we've seen her saving animals before.
Yeah.
So I was like, why can't she just save him? Because obviously he's not ready to go. It's just like his back is shattered.
Yeah. But Redlance is hurt. And he can't really walk either.
Hurt since he hit his head.
Yeah.
And we can see that later too, that like Lita can't heal him 100% either. He's still like laying down in bed with the fur on top of him.
Yeah, when they are howling for his wolf friend.
Yeah. And it's so cute though of Timmain to push Teir into the group and be like, you gotta be part of this.
You have to be here as well.
Mm-hmm. Even though, like, just look at Skywise's face. Like, Timmain, why did you do that?
I didn't approve.
No.
We also see that Timmain has gotten very attached to Teir. We can see that Timmain has gotten very friendly with Teir.
Oh yeah, she loves being in his cave, and she's like nagging for his meat in the pouch.
Yeah, like feed me, I'm hungry.
I love your meat. I love your food better than the other food I get, basically. That's why I'm here.
And he even says it that he only used to hunt every second month. Now he has to do it a lot more often.
Well, I imagine that she's eating a lot. Like, she is a big wolf. She's like moving around a lot.
Yeah.
Like, just look at big dogs. They eat a ton.
Yeah.
So, and it says though, if I'm to eat tonight or no, tomorrow, we need to go out hunting.
Yeah.
And he's showing off his new arrows that's gonna be perfect for like blacknecks.
Mm-hmm. And once they leave, Timmain like tells him, "Wait, I'm gonna go get someone."
But she's not sending with him, right? She's
just like whining.
Yeah.
Like telling him.
Yeah, but he understands.
And he understands animals a lot better than others do.
Yeah.
And it's really sweet. We can see Timmain like walking past the other elves, looking at them. Like, it's obvious that she's looking for someone specific.
Mm-hmm. I first thought though that she was actually looking for Skywise.
Yeah.
And be like, okay, I'm gonna force you two to become best friends.
Yeah, to make up.
You're more like, okay, I like both of you. I want to hang out with both of you together.
Yeah.
So you need to become friends.
No, she didn't do that.
No.
We get dropped in the middle of a conversation about the peace hound.
Yeah. Because someone, obviously Skywise, wants to leave because it's not safe here anymore.
Yeah, there's monsters there. Winnowill is close by. We gotta go. And there's like, no, but we like it here and we don't sense any bad magic. There was just one.
Yeah, and I also feel this part that they've actually stayed at this rock for so long.
Yeah.
And basically like for months. And this is the first time a small hound appeared.
This is the first problem or issue that they've had since they came here.
Yeah. So I kind of agree with Ember though. Just like let's wait it out, see if there is more.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not. Like, and of course you don't know. They like maybe this is the best place for them for now. Like everywhere they go elsewhere could be even worse.
Yeah.
At least, like she says, oh, this is not trees, but at least it's home for now.
Yeah. But suddenly in the middle of the conversation, Timmain comes in and wolfs. And she runs after her.
Yeah, does she suddenly understand what Timmain wants now? Like, like previously she was like, huh, what do you want?
Like right now, she's a lot less insistent on come with me than the first, like last time.
Yeah, but maybe it's more like she is looking for an easy way out from this discussion.
Yeah. And I don't feel like I really enjoyed Lita's comment in this. Oh, daughter, that showed no wisdom. Like, yeah, she left through a discussion, but she also said like, there's nothing to discuss here. We're not leaving. We're not going. We're staying.
Exactly.
I don't see the danger in this.
And when she was running off, they were like, but we're not finished. It's just like, yeah, we are. For now, we have finished this conversation. And she's the chieftess, so just listen to her. She said they're finished, and now they're finished.
Then they're finished. So she gets to her cave, and she puts her the armor on.
Yeah.
And she follows Timmain and drops down on... I don't think that she knew that she was going to Teir until that moment.
No, I don't think so either. I think she was just like, okay, I need an easy way out, and a way for me to get my frustration out is to go hunting.
Yeah.
And another thing, now she's actually bringing bow and arrow. When she was
bow and arrow and a spear.
Yeah, while she's like, I only want a sword. I don't want anything else.
Yeah, now she brings all the other weapons, which is good. Practice on the weapons that you're good with and perfect those before learning new skills.
Yeah, she's so surprised though that she's going out fighting or hunting with Teir.
Yeah, she weren't expecting that at all.
But I like, he's just like, he's going straight to the point. She's like super baffled, but he's like, oh, Timmain went out looking for you. She wouldn't leave until she find you. Yeah. So now we're going hunting, and I would like your company too. Yeah, and I would like to show you how I hunt. Yeah, let's do this. Teach you the ways that I do this. Mm-hmm. And at this moment, we can question, does he know magic? Or is this something he have learned from watching the animals? And I questioned a little bit reading this. Like, when you see this smoke effect thing around him, I don't know how to call it. Is it just for us to see this, you know? See his aura, kind of? Yeah, imagine it. Or does actually the animals in Ember see this too? Like, it's hard to understand. It's actually only just like his aura has that form. Yeah, so no one can really see it. It's more like for us to visualize what's happening. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I thought that too. Like, I kind of looked at him, you know, like Newt Scamander. Yeah. In I don't remember which movie it is, but with the crab in the prison thing, and he's dancing like the crab. Yeah, he's becoming the crab. Mm-hmm. It's exactly the same thing. Yeah. And I can just imagine him like jumping around, trying to be like this black neck animal. Yeah, and then they find some shagbacks and they want to try doing the same with them. Yeah, and he managed to do it, of course. Yeah. Ember tries to. And like, he's like very supportive. You can do this. I know you can. You just have to relax and feel the animal. Oh, another part. I was so surprised. Maybe he has done it before, but that he can actually send. Like a part that the go-backs mentioned, oh yeah, we can kind of send, but it's like we don't use it. Yeah, we don't practice it, so like we have basically just forgot it. Who has he been practicing sending with if he has been so
like he tells us later, he have lived with a nomadic people that traveled around.
Yeah,
so
but
sending might have been their way of communicating to avoid being heard.
Of course, but
it's like
he's
they learned
been alone for so long.
Yeah, but he learned it as a little boy with his parents and the other nomads.
Yeah, but he could like, I feel like with languages, if you don't practice it, you forget it.
Yeah.
So like I kind of felt that away with this. Like they don't mention that his sendings sound like choppy or anything.
No. But maybe sending is something like, if you've learned it, you've learned it.
Maybe.
Like riding a bike.
Yeah. Could be.
But when Ember tries, and she tries really hard to feel the animal, her wolf blood takes over and she becomes a scary wolf.
Yeah, but before that, when she's trying so hard, I like that Teir is kind of giggling of her because
like,
it's like, you look
you're
so
really
funny.
Cute.
Like, you're trying your best. I can see that, but it's not
but
quite
you're
right.
not doing the right thing. You're trying only with your body, not with like your aura.
Yeah.
You're not feeling the animal.
Yeah, so she goes hunting for it instead.
Yeah, because when it doesn't work out, she goes hunting. And he tells her that there's no honor in that. We do not kill them.
No, but he's like, but we came here to hunt, no?
Yeah. So I get it for her to kind of mix signals, but at the same time, he wanted to teach her how to do this thing.
Yeah.
And I understand that you don't kill the animal you just connected with.
Yeah, he says, though, like, we don't hunt the one we're trusting on.
Yeah.
Would you kill a wolf who shared your fire if you needed a warm coat?
Yeah.
No, never. No. Like, they wouldn't even kill the wolf for food.
No. Like, they can take the coat if the wolf has died, but...
Yeah. That's something different.
You don't kill it.
You don't kill it to get the coat.
No.
If it died of natural causes or like...
Yeah, and I really like these next moments because he's being really sincere and actually talking about his past and his history and... about himself, which is something you haven't done before.
No, and we can actually see that he kind of comes, or he does come from the go-backs.
Yes.
Because this earthquake that he's talking about that he just thinks is a fairy tale actually is when Rayak
went berserk.
Yeah, and tried to kill Kavi and the baby.
Yeah.
The baby was Venka, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
So what he's saying is, my family came to these parts of a part of the world in my great-great-great-grandsire's time, many ages ago. There were tales around the night fires of a ground quake that tore his tribe in two. I never really believed them, but they made good stories. And we can see that this is like the icy biome and everything.
Mm-hmm. And you see the quake with the go-backs on both sides, on the canyon and everything.
Yeah. We also questioned the fact, can they just walk around?
Yeah, I think we discussed that earlier because they actually said in that issue, didn't they, that the tribe was split in two and they moved two separate ways.
Yeah, like, couldn't they just walk around?
Yeah.
They didn't.
No.
Mother and father, a grandfather and brother, they were all I knew for more seasons than I can remember. Sometimes other little bands would wander through, but they weren't staying long enough to matter. So he was part of a nomadic people of go-backs.
Yeah. And he learned the bird, or not the bird thing, the animal thing.
The bees and the birds and the birds.
Yeah, that one. No. He learned to like connect with the animals from his father.
Yeah.
So he has known that for basically his entire life.
Yeah, his father could call birds out of the sky.
Yeah. But then his mother and some of his brothers left.
All of his brothers left.
Yeah.
With some of the wandering ones.
Yeah.
Because they wanted more than they could find.
They wanted more adventures. Like, if they were... or if they still had a lot of their go-back blood...
Yeah.
They don't handle sitting still and don't, like, not do anything.
Yeah. So they wanted more than the life that they were currently having. So they left. And then Ember comes in with like some important questions. How can you leave a life mate that you've recognized? But they weren't recognized.
And like I kind of feel we learned before, maybe Ember doesn't know this though, but when you're recognized and you fucked and you had the cub, you can leave your separate ways.
Yeah, as long as you do not choose to be life mates.
Exactly.
But they have lived as life mates for a long, long time. So I would imagine that. I imagine that when you choose to be life mates with a person and live years and years and years with them, you get connected in a different way.
Maybe.
So that you wouldn't choose to leave them.
Probably that. But still, they were not recognized.
He's
not a recognized cub.
No.
And it feels like Ember is so shocked about this. That's like, you're not a recognized cub?
But I get it. But it feels like he has magic.
True, though.
Though it isn't magic because Ember can do it as well.
Yeah.
So
there is skill that can be learned.
Yeah, it is a learned skill. But and I get it from a Wolfrider point of view where almost everyone is recognized children.
Mm-hmm.
How is he not one? Though she has seen the occurrence of ones that isn't. It's just so uncommon for her.
It is. I like also that Teir is like, oh, father used to say it was easier when heart met heart anyway. That there was more love in the world than recognition. And he's kind of right.
Yeah.
But I understand recognition too, that you get special children and you can bring on this powerful forces into the world.
Yeah. And it's like, if you find that one person that you really, really want to spend your life with, I get it that you don't care about recognizing someone else because you found your person.
Oh, yeah. And you can see, though, in all these images, I think she has a little crush on him.
I think he has a little crush on her, too.
Yeah, but
because he actually talks to her about his past.
True. But it does, like, in his expression, body language and all that, it doesn't feel as obvious as with Ember.
No, and there's a reason that Timmain went and got Ember.
Yeah, I think so too.
She knows.
She can feel these things.
Oh, yeah.
And Lita and Skywise and Moonshade is talking about the discussion they had with Ember. And Skywise is still like, oh, Cutter would never just walk away like that.
Well, almost never left a council before it was done.
True.
Almost never.
But then we're back to this. Is it hard for Ember to be Ember when some of them are still comparing her to her father? Yeah. And
I feel like if Cutter wasn't still alive, they wouldn't have compared them as much. Because they do, in their back of their mind, they're like, but I like the way that Cutter do things. I would like to follow Cutter, not Ember, because the way he does it is more correct with the way that I want to do things. Well, now they're sitting here with Ember who wants to do things differently.
Yeah, but then you should stop being like so two-sided, because at one point you're like, you have to learn to be Ember, stop listening to like what your father do,
but
and
be
what he
more like your father.
Yeah. That doesn't make sense at all.
No. So I think that if Cutter wasn't alive and they didn't really have a choice on following Ember instead of him, they wouldn't compare as much, because now they're like, oh, but I would rather be with him because he do this.
Yeah.
And he's like, he's not that far away. It is possible to get back to Cutter.
Yeah, that's true. But you don't know when they are finished fighting, so still, for now, she is your chief.
Yeah, they didn't compare Cutter with Bearclaw. Well, Bearclaw wasn't a very good...
Sometimes they did.
But Bearclaw wasn't a really that good of a chief.
No.
Because
Cutter has done a lot of stuff, though.
Yeah, but Bearclaw was also dead.
Yeah.
You can't really compare the living to the dead, because you can't go back and choose the dead. You can only choose to go on with the living.
Yeah.
Whilst as Cutter isn't dead, they can choose Cutter.
True. Oh, I like that they're like, oh, Ember has changed so much since we came to the Howling Rock. It's like, yeah, because she's in love.
And I really enjoy that Lita is thinking to herself, maybe she's lonely. She's been talking so much about Mender, missing him and yearning for him. And
no, she has a new boy.
And yet, since we have come here, she no longer mourns their parting. Lita knows. She looks up like the Kaon, like, has Teir?
Yeah. And she also mentioned that, she's so young to be chief. She isn't that much younger than Cutter was when
She isn't younger than Cutter was when he became chief.
Yeah.
He just didn't have a choice.
Yeah, but then why is it, like, why does she feel so sorry for her? She's in the
Probably because she's the mummy.
Probably. But she is in the exact same situation as Cutter was. Basically, like, she's trying to find them a new hold. He was trying to find them a new hold.
It's just that she has a choice in the matter. Cutter didn't. So the circumstances makes it feel different.
But in a way, she kind of didn't have a choice either.
No, it was necessary for the tribe.
Yeah. When out hunting, Ember and Teir see that a new pack of wolf is running towards them.
Yeah. And Ember is kind of like, oh no, Longshanks is not going to welcome these new wolves in.
No.
And they're like, there's a mom with cubs and...
This is going to be a big fight.
And like, they need the Disney wolf and the cub and everything for their tribe as they've lost a wolf. And as the fight begins, Teir goes in and takes the spirit of the wolf and stops the fight.
Yeah, and I like he's kind of like grinding at them like the wolves would
growling at them
like do to him.
Yeah. And I think this is where like what we said, like you see this one picture of him in the kind of wolf form and the rest of him is just him.
Yeah.
It's like he takes
his aura.
The aura of the wolf and then challenges the wolves on their equal ground.
But this shows that he understands animals and he has a really strong energy. He shows the animal, I'm the boss. Yeah. You can follow me or you leave.
I'm the alpha. You cannot stare me.
Exactly. And that's what wins over like cats and dogs as well. So yeah. You just need to be a strong-minded person to rule over them. Otherwise, the animal gonna take over your life.
Oh, yes. So he says that, I think it worked. I think we can introduce the two tribes together, though it will probably not be a smooth joining.
Oh, no. But when is it ever with Wolfriders?
Yeah, but Longshank will let the other wolf stay.
Yeah.
And then suddenly, Ember just runs off.
Yeah, because we can see, like, meanwhile, that Pike is, like, looking into the fire. First, I thought, like, when did he start fire scrying? But he's not fire scrying.
No.
It's Skot's, like, soul, whatever.
Spirit that appears in front of him.
Saying goodbye.
Yeah.
But it kind of looks like fire scrying, you know, like on the images.
It does. I was also like, what are you doing?
What magic?
What happened here to the non-magical elf?
Yep. No,
But as they get closer, they see this big fire, and everyone's like, "Oh my god, what are you doing?" Is it humans or no? It's an elf or someone that might see us. The peasants may come back. This is dangerous. You gotta stop. And he's just really, really stern and just looks everyone in the eyes and says, "Skot's dead."
Yeah, I don't care. When someone's died, he's a go back. We're dancing for them.
Yeah, we need to give them a dance. I think he went in fire. He went out blazing like the way that he wanted to.
He wanted to die in a fight. He died in a fight.
Yeah, now we have to do the right thing and dance for him. That's what he wanted. That's what he deserves.
And of course, he became a Wolfrider as well. So we're also going to howl for him.
Yeah.
He need a good howl and a good dance.
Both him and Krim became just as much Wolfriders as they did go backs in the end. And there are some of these really beautiful scenes of all of the Wolfriders dancing for him. And I just love these scenes.
Except for Lita, though, because she's like, oh, I don't like celebrating death.
Yeah.
Which is like, no, you're not celebrating that he's dying.
You celebrate the life that he's lived.
Yeah, and the impression he had on your lives and all the things he learned or taught you.
Yeah. And you can just see the look on Teir's face. And when he thinks to himself that the dance, I know it.
Yeah, because he is a go-back.
Yeah.
It's a go-back dance.
Yeah, that's how the go-backs remember their lost ones.
Yeah. And not just the last ones. Like, they were celebrating, they were dancing. Like, they found any excuse to dance. Yeah, they did. So, yeah, he have seen it before.
He has.
Obviously.
Yeah. So for the next episode, we're going to talk about hidden years number 24 and 25.
So until next time, go recognize a troll.